Hey guys, I'm out here today out my boat. This is the classic Cobra Viper kayak. This, I believe, is the fastest plastic kayak ever made. Just out here tuning it up a little bit today in preparation for tomorrow's Rivanna River race. I like to trim it out. I like to make sure the seat is comfortable. I like to make sure the foot pedals are set correctly and that everything is comfortable and ready to go. I have my Fen 1 wing paddle. I got that adjusted to the right length, to the right offset, and I'm not going to change any of this stuff overnight. So all these settings stay the way they are. That's just a little bit of race prep for you.
Okay, so I just got done talking about preparing your boat and all your gear before a race the day before. Here I am at Chris Green Lake before Rivanna River Race 2021, getting everything set up, thinking I'm ready to go. And yet on race morning, something still went wrong. This is the starting line for the first heat. We didn't launch until 2 heats later. These were the recreational paddlers. But the day before, I tried to get everything prepared on my boat. And as luck would have it, you'll see in a minute here, I get in my boat. Everything is set up the way I want it, but you know, the weak link today on this day was the Camelback hydration system. Here you see me get in my boat, and I'm trying to drink through this tube. I hook it up to a piece of wire near my mouth. It's kind of tight, it's tugging, and at some point I realized I spliced this tubing onto the original Camelback and it just popped off there. So the Camelback bladder is leaking into my boat and I can't get any liquid through it. So I pull over here to try to make a quick repair. So, you know, no matter how much you prepare, something always goes wrong. So I try to get on the water early. Here you see me putting it back together, that hose back together with the junction with the original. So I've got it spliced back together. I've got some fluids going here. So we're ready to start the race. Here we will see the beginning of the race from the perspective of my boat. Now I was wearing a body camera, and unfortunately after all that mix up, the tubing from my Camelback blocked that view, that camera the whole time. You see, let's see here, Ed Sharp on your left there in that canoe. He's 81 years old. God, that guy's amazing. You see Shelly coming in here on your screen left, my right. And then paddling buddy Dave will be on your screen right, my left. Quick start to the race. The three of us, Dave, Shelly, and I, jump out to the lead pretty early. There you see Dave. And shortly here, you're going to see me get a grin on my face because I hear somebody paddling behind me, and I think it's Dave. And you'll see me get a grin on my face, and I'm trying to like kick up a splash to splash whoever's behind me to kind of maybe get them to back off a little bit. Here's a land view of that start. There in that white boat, that's Shelly. Above her is Ed, then me and Dave. Here you see me trying to create splashes to just get the person behind me wet to get them to back off. Just a little bit of gamesmanship here. I knew Dave had the superior boat this day. He had the Epic 18X in a composite fiberglass design. Everybody else had plastic except for the aluminum canoes. The water was low. So I knew, you know, Dave and I are pretty evenly matched. I knew he had the superior boat. So here he goes, he's passing me, and I knew at this point it was game over. There's no way I'm going to keep up with that boat and Dave over the course of, you know, 6.5, 7 miles. So here it becomes, you know, psychologically, just, you know, coming to terms with what I already knew. I'm not going to beat this boat. I'm not going to beat him on this day. I'm just trying to race my best race at this point and not screw up and kind of hold on to second place if at all possible. We're paddling through the early portions of the race here. The river was low. You can see here we're definitely, you know, there's only one obvious line here. We still hit rocks and scrape rocks, and it was tough to get through. We had to push our way through. So it was a, you know, kind of bony conditions on this day. It's certainly not ideal. There was no way I was going to take one of my carbon or Kevlar boats on the river this day. This is the only really challenging rapid. It's under a railroad bridge, and it sounds really formidable as you're approaching it, but when you get there, it's really actually not that bad. And below here, just a couple mild rapids. You know, here's one that kind of veers river left. Again, there was really only one line through here. I happened to catch it and did all right. Here is where there used to be an old bridge, and there's some concrete footings on the bottom of the river here, and sometimes, depending on the water levels, it gets really squirrely, so that little point can be really kind of intimidating and unpredictable. That camera died. Here I am at the rapid right above Dardental boat ramp. Thank you, David Scott, for getting this video from land. I have so little video of me from somebody else's perspective, but I'm so thankful that you were there to capture this video. There I am. It's about a half a mile above the finish line. Here you see Dave probably about that same time crossing the finish line. I was 2 minutes behind him, which I felt really good about that, actually, being in a piece of plastic. After he and I crossed the finish line, we decided to paddle back upstream and encourage the racers behind us. Here we spot paddling friend Shelly, and she stopped paddling, and I don't know why, but I felt as her coach I needed to yell at her a little bit. Forgive me, Shelly. And then here I'm just reminding her, engage your legs, obliques, and lats. At this point, I was trying to push her because I knew she was probably in contention for an overall third place, so I didn't want her to just take it easy. Here you have a guy in a canoe coming through. Dave and I found a nice little eddy point just below Dardental Park, so we were just hanging out here, kind of enjoying the races and encouraging everybody to, you know, kind of just get across the finish line. And we were also kind of there for safety to make sure everybody was doing okay and getting there. Here we have Becky Lynch. This was her first race ever. We told her which line to take here. We said go river left. And we turned around and we accompanied her across the finish line. And this is great. This is what kayaking is all about. I love to see people doing things for the first time and that sense of accomplishment and joy they have when they get across the finish line. And here she is celebrating, and this made my day. So, you know what? I love the sport. This is what it's all about. Love the sport. Take what it has to give you and pay it forward.